Chargers football is back. It has been a busy offseason for the Los Angeles Chargers. Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh continued reshaping this roster through free agency. The draft brought in another group of young players with plenty of potential. And Mike McDaniel arrived with the task of taking Justin Herbert and this offense to a whole nother level. Today, we're going to catch up on all of it. We're going to take our real first look at the Chargers draft class, who they selected, where these rookies fit, and which of them could make an impact sooner than later. We'll also look at the biggest additions and losses from free agency and what this roster looks like heading into the offseason. And then there's training camp. We've had a couple of weeks now to see how this team is on the field. Position battles are starting to shake, and some players are making noise. And we're beginning to get our first glimpse of what this new-look Chargers team could actually look like. But tonight, the jerseys change. No more Chargers versus Chargers. The Bolts head to Houston for a preseason game number 1 against the Texans. And while I don't care much about this final score in August, I absolutely care about what happens between those lines. Which rookies are ready? Who's going to take control of these roster battles? And what are the first signs that this Chargers team is ready to roll in 2026? We've got a lot to get into. I'm Decron Melkonian, and this is Extreme Voltage. Welcome back to another episode of Extreme Voltage. So, back in April, the Chargers had their draft, and they came away with 8 draft picks overall. The theme was pretty obvious: build the trenches, add speed, give the roster more athleticism. And 4 of the 8 picks were offensive linemen, so that's significant in what they had occurring last year with so many guys going in and out, especially our tackles, obviously. Number 1 pick was Akeem Mesidor. Outside backer, pretty much edge rusher from Miami. Older player, however, fantastic attributes. This was the headline defensive addition. He joins Khalil Mack, Tuli Tuipulotu, and he really gives the Chargers the possibility of rotating the 3 legitimate edge threats, and that's something we saw last year with Odafe Oweh, who was picked up in the during the season with a trade from the Ravens. And since we lost him with a big money contract, this is something to really add on and not lose that. As a matter of fact, you might even be gaining a little bit. Odafe played great here, but Akeem, especially now that we've seen training camp, is all of that. Comes in as a polished, I'm going to call it a veteran college player. Okay, he's an older guy coming in, so he's not one of the younger rookies coming in and a little bit dazed and confused. He's coming in strong, so it looks like he's going to be part of that 3-headed monster with that edge rush. Now 4, including Bud Dupree, but there's more to talk about that in a second on that 4th or 5th edge rusher. But fantastic threesome right there with Akeem Mesidor coming in. Round 2, Jake Slaughter out of Florida. Actually a center, but can play that guard position. The Chargers love the versatility. Hey, look, what NFL team doesn't, right? I think you see that a lot, but especially the Chargers, for years and years, they love the line versatility, especially between center and guard, and potentially guard to tackle. Jake Slaughter brings you that. Again, he was a college center, played all the way through, but he has some really good traits that can really bring him to that left guard spot, which is a desperate need right now. And he's one of the most interesting picks because they traded down before selecting him. He's another piece of the complete rebuild of this interior offensive line, and the Chargers really talked about him after the draft and potentially seeing him as that guard. But again, do not limit the fact that he can always jump in at center as well for the future. So that's good stuff right there. 3rd pick. This is a Mike McDaniel pick. I'm telling you right now, this was talked about, and I think I'm not the only one saying this. This was the speed pick. This is the Tyreek Hill pick. And again, we're not comparing this kid right now to him because there's no way you can do that. But if you look at it on paper and what the numbers look like, he has 4.26 speed. Led the SEC with over 1,000 yards receiving yards for Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi State. He brings the wow factor, right? And it's going to be one of the factors that hopefully will get him solidified in this receiver room. He's exactly the type of vertical stretch weapon that McDaniel is creative with. So putting him in there with Trey and Ladd, I think you're seeing some exciting tools and weaponry for Justin. So pretty excited about that pick, and I haven't really had a chance to see him too much at camp this off season here, this training camp season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him at preseason and see what comes out of that. But again, they might not stretch him as much and wait for the regular season to go through. They can really showcase that speed. Fourth round. This is the first time they made their second time they made an offensive line pick here. Travis Burke out of Memphis was the second offensive lineman chosen in this draft, and he's 6'9", 325 pounds, so he's all of that mountain and more. He's a huge man, and it's going to be a legitimate tackle depth position behind Joe Alt and Slater. You know, Charger fans, you know what happened last year. Your big boys were taken out. And once those two building blocks, those bookends are gone, it is really difficult to get somebody off the street to replace. Chargers tried it here and there. It was a Band-Aid approach. And what happened? Herbert got beat up all year long with it. So 6'9", 325, a good player. I mean, one thing is having size and you know, ability to play there. Another is how well you can play. So Burke really has that potential, that athleticism found in that kind of body. So hopefully he pans out to get that depth spot going between those two behemoths. So fantastic stuff there. Fifth round pick. This was kind of considered a little controversial. A lot of the draft gurus did not like Genesis Smith because of his tackling or the inability of tackle in the open area. Smith comes out of Arizona. Again, one of a really great upside picks here, I think. Excellent range, athleticism. He posted a 42.5-inch vertical. He can fly. And he's got a 10'8" broad jump as well at the combine. So he gives you all that athletic, what you need as a player in that safety spot. So that looks pretty fantastic. He gives another young developmental piece behind an already strong safety group. So you're not bringing in a start today. Okay, that's a factor. But yeah, the weakness is the tackling. He's a ball hawk. He'll go up there and get it. But hey, if you can't make tackles as a safety, you go and play in the NFL. Go to the UFL and have fun with it, but it's not going to happen here. So yeah, DBs, two problems, right? One is going to be catchability, and next thing is going to be tackleability, right? You need to have those two items on there to make you that guy. So Genesis Smith, excited to see what he's going to do. Big boy out there in that position who can provide a lot of athleticism for the Chargers. Sixth round. In the fifth round, Nick Barrett, defensive tackle, South Carolina. Dirty work selection. He's an interior defensive lineman with run-stopping potential who joins the room with T.R. Tart, Dalvin Tomlinson, Justin Aboigbe, and Jamari Caldwell. So, look, they've got a nice starting trenches on the D-line, rotational piece. Rick Barnett brings that size and strength, and that's what you're going to need to pound it down. And, you know, we've talked about this before. D-tackles have to get their rest. They're big boys, running hard, pounding on every play. So the more you have that versatility and the ability to rotate him through after a couple plays here and there, that keeps him fresh, and that's going to be crucial. So nice pick on Nick Barrett. Going to want to see how that looks like. And round 6, they picked up a couple of guards, and they went with Logan Taylor, Boston College, and Alex Harkey, again, a guard from Oregon. These together are going to be another mix into this offensive line compilation. Again, we want to see what's going to happen during training camp right now. They're in the mix of it, and let's see how the preseason goes. If these guys can both make it on the roster, fantastic. At the very worst, I don't see them anywhere else but the practice squad. Okay, these guys have to get in as part of the nexus of what the young guys are looking like getting through. They're pretty talented folks, so we'll see how that goes. Don't have any more additions on it. So overall, I like the draft in April because there was a clear plan of what they were doing. And now that we're in August and we're in the deep of it, and we're in the first game of the preseason here tonight, I like the plan even more. They didn't just chase 8 guys or starters per se. They attacked the offensive line. They added another pass rusher in the first round specifically, and they added legitimate speed at receiver, the guy that's going to blow the top off, which we don't really have here. We have some really good receivers, quality receivers, but we need those guys that will just stretch them. And once you do that, it opens up a whole lot of stuff in the middle. And they added developmental athletes as well. And that's what you need. That's going to be seen in depth. And also potentially, you're going to see that for your special teams. It's such a crucial component of the game, right? The third massive component in the game besides offense and defense is having those kind of guys that can play that special teams position. So excited about that. Those are some great additions on the draft. In regards to the offseason free agency, Tyler Bedaz, the center that came through for us, fantastic center. They finally got somebody that's going to solidify it. Bozeman, like we talked about in the last podcast, did a veteran's job. He tried. His effort was A+, but obviously it was hurting us a bit. So with Tyler coming in, that's going to be a pretty crucial spot for us. So that's fantastic. David Njoku comes in from Cleveland, one of my favorite guys to watch. He is such an athlete on the as a tight end. He can bang it. He is such a big guy. He can bang it down low, and then he can take you on a ride, man. He has great hands, and he is a legit playmaker, especially in that red zone or first downs to get to that chain. That's a target you want. He comes with 384 career receptions out of Cleveland, over 4,000 yards and 34 touchdowns. The guy knows what he's doing. He joins Oronde Gaston from last year's rookie phenom, and Charlie Kohler, which we didn't talk about, but a great pickup from the Baltimore Ravens. He's more of a physical blocking element, but I tell you what, he can go out there and catch a pass anytime he needs to. He's the banger up there. He will make those tough catches along the way, and he can run with that ball. So I love this one. Again, he's got a really strong run and blocking grade out of PFF. I believe he had the 6th among qualifying tight ends on that portion. So imagine this room of Njoku, Gadsden, Kohler really gives McDaniel a great personnel grouping for protection and another weapon for Justin to go with. So fantastic on that end. Mike wasn't done. Alec Ingold, his favorite fullback, comes in now. That's a change in what we saw from last year. Alec, I tell you, he's a former Pro Bowler who already knows McDaniel's offensive system from Miami. So this is going to be a plug and play right away. And it's crucial to get veterans like this because they're the ones that can help the other guys. Albeit if there are other veterans as well, it doesn't matter. You're learning a new language. You're learning a new offensive system. It's not easy. Sometimes it's pretty transitionable, and you can get that going. Other times it takes a little bit of progress on what you've done, and don't forget it's muscle memory, right? It's what you've done for a couple of years. Now you're changing that to something completely different. That's a lot of analysis and not reaction issues. So that changes, and it slows down the game at times. But getting guys like this that have been in the system of Mike's really will vastly thrust the offense into a faster mode of playing. So I think that's going to be good stuff from him. He comes in, again, can do it all. Catch, run, block. Fantastic. Dalvin Tomlinson, defensive tackle, veteran interior presence with an incredible durability history. Hey, let's put that up there because we need all the help on durability, right? Let's put that 142 career starts when the Chargers signed him. So hopefully to add on to that like the defensive tackle room, and that will be a nice, really big man. Will provide some good, strong tackle presence on there for us. The Chargers went ahead and added more to this running back group. I thought initially they were going to draft another running back, right? Another young gun. O'Marion Hampton, stud. Cannot wait. Hey, knock on wood. Let's get him rolling this year again and stay healthy. He put some great numbers up even with half a season last year. Imagine, hopefully he stays through a nice, strong, healthy season. That's your bell cow, right? So that looks strong. Keaton Mitchell comes in now as another workhorse. His speed, his change of pace, he complements very well to Amarian and also Kamani Vidal. Let's not forget what a great season Kamani had. And there was some off-season, rumor mill that Kamani was going to get traded and not re-signed as an exclusive free agent, what have you. I believe it's his 3rd year coming up. Kamani, it just proved to everybody last year. He was relegated to the practice squad, I believe, in the beginning of the year. And this man just came up and really showcased what he is in the NFL. Undersized, but not underhearted, and just a great, strong player. So that room is going to consist of Marion, Kamani, and Keaton. And Keaton is really an explosive back. I remember seeing him a few years back before he suffered that ACL. He has a career 6.3 yards per carry. That means he blows it up. That means there's some big plays happening. This is not the kind of guy that's going to give you 6 yards a carry, bam, off the bat. But that just shows me that's a 20, 25, 30, 35-yard gains coming at you with his limited carries. He's got 4.37 speed. And again, I'm curious to see how that's going to transition over to the Chargers. I saw some really good tape this last week on Keaton. As a pass catcher, and he looked fantastic on one of the seam routes that I saw. So look, if he's hooking up well with Justin, I'm really happy with that. That's giving a nice three-headed monster. Might suck for fantasy for you if you're getting a Marion off the bat in the first or second or third round like I did. But guess what? You want in real football, not fake football. In real football, this is what you need: a strong running room that can come in and complement each other. And it's funny, Mike McDaniel. Breaking some hearts this week for fantasy players. He was saying, hey, look, all three running backs, he can foresee getting some quality carries throughout the season. And he said, hey, the hot hand's going to get sometimes, most of it, depending on what they have for game plans and what they're looking at. Some guys might do more than others at times. But I'm going to tell you right now, O'Marion is your guy. I don't see him getting anything less than 15 touches a game. For sure, either receiving or running. That I see, and I see the other guys getting sprinkled through as well, all the way through. Again, depending on game flow, right? What the game script looks like. If we're going to beat down and have a strong running game, guess what? These guys might go for 30. It might be a split of 15 on one way and 7 and 8 on the other. So that's how I'm looking at it. And potentially, I hope that's how it goes. That way we can, have Justin relegated to maybe 20 to 25 throws a game, which that's what you want. Quality quarterback, man, but make quality throws, and he doesn't have to throw 30, 35, 40 times a game. That means you're struggling and you're in a shootout, man. And that's what you want to avoid if you can. Sometimes you're going to have to do it, and that's fun. And that's when you paid the ticket and you're like, wow, this is some exciting football. But you want those beatdowns, right? You want those games where your running game, your defense, fantastic quarterback, we're making some amazing plays downfield and getting some scores in the end zone and just take the air out of the stadium for a lot of places you go to. That's what you want to get done. And that's how I think, I know they're building it that way. They are building it to beat you down. These are almost like the old NFC teams, like the Giants of the day, back in the day of the 80s and 90s ball. They want to beat you down with their offensive line and their D-line. And they want to have a consistent running game that's going to go through you. And then on top of that, you have a fantastic quarterback that can deliver this ball on a dart. And now, I believe, with the receivers they have, which I think was hurting us last couple of years. We had the Ladd McConkey situation, injured, not injured, fantastic player. Keenan Allen, a little bit, getting older on there. Still had a fantastic year last year. But again, a little older. That takes away a little bit. And I think it kind of hurt from there, right? So I think now you're seeing it with Trey Harris coming in as well. I think you're seeing some speed along with some good, strong quality receivers. And I just want to see how that looks. That's one of my things I want to see this year of camps. I'll be at camp next week, as a matter of fact. And I really want to focus on the receiver group and see what it looks like with these guys and how much they've upgraded their play, because they will need that in certain games, especially when those defenses play tight to the line and they're there dedicated to stop that running game. It's going to be on Herbie and the crew to take it to the next level, and I want to see how that gets done this year. So some significant losses as well. Look, Mekhi Becton, you might call that a significant loss. It was a loss during the season, quite honestly, not the offseason. The fact that he did not perform. Again, there was injuries. I get it. Some guys play through injuries. I'm not on the sideline. I'm not a medical guy. I don't see what's going on. Some guys do a really good job of playing through pain. I'm not sure what his injuries were consisting of, but it just seemed like the effort wasn't there. I don't know why it just seems like out of this guy. Maybe it's just his body language. But Mekhi Becton, you just wanted more. You just wanted more, and you never got it. The play, anytime he was on the field, his just play level was just so bad. His body language didn't show it. It's like he just got paid, and he just didn't want to play. And it's very unfair for me to say this, but That's what it looked like to me. And I think that's why he was immediately released. First day of that, he was gone. And they ate the cost on it, but gone on that. Will Dissly, tight end, also gone. Hey, look, first signed him a couple of years back. I like that signage a lot. And I think he brought a lot of strong traits in that first year. Second year really trailed off with injuries and didn't see it much happening. So that was an easy release from there. But he valiant effort first year on there as well. So good stuff. Again, Keenan Allen, unrestricted still, hasn't signed anywhere. I don't foresee him ever getting signed back here. It's just they have to move on. And I know some people go, I want Keenan back. It's part of the Charger tradition. Let him retire here. You know, man, that sounds great in certain books. But when you're establishing a championship style team, and no one is saying Keenan has dropped off per se. Like he can go out there right now and give you 40, 50, maybe 60 catches, 5 or 6 touchdowns. No one is saying his productivity is gone. I mean, we haven't seen it. Hasn't been signed anywhere. Maybe he's very limited on where he wants to go. But there is a drop off, and you saw a little bit of that last year. Even had a great year, there is the drop off from Keenan Allen of the primary years. And you don't want to release a young stud receiver coming through your ranks for a guy that is older and maybe has another year or two left. But if you keep that guy in a year or two and get rid of the young guy that has the potentially for another 4, 5, 6 years, you've just retarded the growth on your team. And that would be an issue on that portion. So I get it. It's business. And hey, look, if they ever signed him, okay, that can work. Let him go through and be part of the crew. I don't think he's going to be the crew, but I doubt that happening. I really do. And I think somebody will pick him up, especially during the season, if there's any injuries. So that's my take on Keenan. But hey, fantastic player. His jersey needs to be in the ring of fame here for the Chargers. So fantastic on that. So that's what we got for the offseason, the draft class, and the free agency period. And now we are in the midst of training camp. Training camp has been going on for the last couple of weeks, obviously, and offensive line has been one of the areas that I think we're focusing on. And the changes up the middle, including Tyler Biadasz coming in and becoming that strong starter for us, hopefully here. That's a big one for us, and that's going to be fantastic. Getting our bookend tackles back with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, that's been crucial. Now, a couple of issues on Slater. He's been out of practice last couple of games. Last week he tweaked something in that same leg where he had the injury on last year, a patellar tendon injury. So they're not saying it's that. They're saying it's a soft issue. He came back the same day and did some stretches with the whole team, so that looked really positive, but has been pretty much off a number of days with that. So I think it's precautionary, hopefully. Again, Harbaugh's not going to give you any more detail, saying he's just working through it. But again, if it was something more severe, I think they would have known. And the guy's just coming back from a major injury. So I think a little bit of time off is going to be is okay during the training camp portion. To finish off, again, we have Joe Alt, obviously other side of it. And so far, so good with camp. No issues. Looks great on that side. The biggest issues are the tackle spots. The guard spots, right? Right guard Cole Strange, which we didn't discuss earlier. Again, a free agent addition this year coming from Miami. That's going to be a big factor because, look, Cole Strange might not be, and actually is not rated very highly as a guard. However, Mike likes him a lot. And I think the movement they do, like more of a zone blocking scheme they do here now with Mike, that's crucial because Cole is really an athletic guard that knows how to move in this kind of alignment. So the way he plays works for the Chargers, or hopefully is looking to work for the Chargers just like he did in Miami. Mike likes him. Look, if he didn't like him and he thought he was a detriment, why bring him and why start him? And that's what they're doing right now. So hopefully transitions well, but he's got the right guard spot is what it looks like right now. We'll take a look at it through camp and also these preseason games. The biggest part is the left guard spot. And of course, they added a bunch of guys coming in this year to kind of work that situation, right? So again, Jake Slaughter, Branson Taylor, Kiado Awosika was brought in as a free agent. And initially, about a week and a half, maybe 8-9 days ago, Awosika was the one that looked like was going to be the guy there. But inconsistent play throughout camp. I think has really opened the door. And just recently, reading through Harbaugh's press conferences and so forth, really brought back Jake Slaughter's name. And I think, look, they drafted him for a reason, second round pick. They want to put him there, but he's got to earn his way there. So that's the camp battle you're looking at between Jake, Awosika, Branson Taylor, and just to see where even Trevor Penning, right, is going to be in the mix. So let's see what's going on there. That's going to be a fun battle to see, and I think we're going to see all those guys go through. So that's the lineup on the O-line, and that's going to be something to look at. Again, Branson Taylor taking a lot of first-team reps at both guard and tackle, and we talked about his size earlier. Harbaugh really likes him and has praised him throughout this whole offseason. So that's good stuff for us right there. Also, offensive line, we're looking good. Look, Herbie was sacked a career high 54 times last season. Okay, that is significant. So this isn't some secondary camp competition. This is big. And as long as Slater and Alt stay healthy and the new interior works, this unit's going to be a dramatically different protective unit. And again, harken back. God willing, Slater's injury, what we talked about, is more of a soft body injury issue, and he's going to come back here. That's something to look at throughout this training camp, the last week here in training camp, and just to see what the preseason looks. Not that he's going to play. I don't see these guys really getting in preseason as much for these veterans, but they should be in and out possibly. Especially next week, there's going to be a 49ers joint practice session. I think you're seeing a lot of the veterans partake in those sessions much more controlled rather than play in a preseason game. So, and I'll be at that event next Tuesday. I'll get a better eyes view on it. But that's something that I like to see. Hopefully he's healthy enough to go and compete there. I think that's where a lot of the NFL teams are kind of relegating to now, is doing these joint practice sessions, much more controlled, deliberate, and rather more limited than actually in a game situation. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that. So that's a good factor on that. But again, adding Tyler Biadasz this year is such a crucial component for that center spot that we really didn't have anchored before. So fantastic work on that end. What am I looking at for defensive backs? I'm looking at, again, Derwin James and his crew coming in, Tarheeb Steele, Cam Hart. I want to see the battles happening out there. There's a lot of young corner play that's going to be in the mix. The safeties, again, coming back from last year, how healthy are we going to be and how it looks like overall. So we can break into that a little more on the next podcast, but that's what I'm looking for tonight. If you get a chance, watch the Texans and Chargers tonight. Again, it's going to be certain areas we're looking at: O-line, receiver. Let's see how this running back group is going to work. I don't see a lot of Omarion Hampton in there at all today, if any. I want to see what the guys look like a little bit and see what's going on that end. Just overall get a nice feel of what it looks like on the D-line as well. This is going to be exciting. We got 3 preseason games going on. We got another week of training camp. We will break it all down before our first actual game against the Cardinals at SoFi. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you soon. My name is D. Melkonian, and this is Extreme Voltage. Bolt up.